Okay, now here's an application of a parabola. It says an arch is in the shape of a parabola. So we've got an arch. It has a span of 60 feet. So from here to here is 60 feet. The maximum height is 15 feet. So from here to here, it's 15 feet. We want to find an equation of the parabola and then use the equation to determine the height when the arch is 20 feet from the center. So once we come up with the equation, we want to find what the height is when we come out 20 feet from the center. We want to find that height. So we're going to say that x is 20 feet, and we want to find the value of y at that point. So if we call this point here the origin 0, 0, then this point right here would have to be 30, 0 because it's half the distance all the way across. The vertex will have to be 0, 15 since it has a maximum height of 15. Because the parabola is upside down, we know that our value of p is going to be negative. We also know, because it opens down, that the standard form of the equation is going to be the form in which we have the x term squared. So we're going to have x minus h squared is equal to 4p, and then y minus k. All right, so our vertex is 0, 15. So we're going to plug that in for h and k. So we have x minus 0 squared is equal to 4p, and then y minus 15. But that's not the full equation. We still need to figure out what p is. So we're going to pick another point on the graph to plug in for x and y so we can solve it for p. Another point on the graph that we already identified is this point here, 30, 0, or we can use this point here. This point here would be negative 30, 0. Either one is fine. I'm going to use positive 30, 0. So I'm going to plug in 30 for x and 0 for y, and now we can solve this for p. So 30 minus 0 is 30. 30 squared is 900. 0 minus 15 is negative 15. If I take 4 times negative 15, that gives me a negative 60p, which means p is going to be negative 15. And we knew that it should have been negative because it's an upside down parabola. We already said that p was negative. So our final equation in standard form would be x minus 0 squared is equal to 4 times p would be negative 15 times 4, which would be negative 60. And then we would have y minus 15. So here's standard form of the equation for the parabola with the given properties. Now we need to figure out, to completely finish this problem, what is the height when you're 20 feet from the center? So we're going to plug in 20 for x and find out what the value of y is. So when I put in 20, I can figure out what my value of y is. 20 squared is 400. I have negative 60y plus, and then negative 60 times negative 15 is going to give me 900. I'm going to take and subtract 900 from both sides, so that gives me a minus 500 is equal to negative 60y. And when I divide both sides by 60, or negative 60, I get 8.33, and that's in feet. It said rounded 2 decimal places, so I rounded it to 0.33. So when we come out 20 feet from the center, at that archway, it would be 8.33 feet.